the first Porch Chat guest is Will Smith. Started out as a student and then became a staff member and then assistant director and then just really a great friend. So, can you give us, I don't know, give us an idea of why you thought it would work, and I thought you could use it.
So there's a little bit of backstory, which is that, you know, we kind of treated it in a bit like a team effort. Part of that team effort was Ben Lopez was hot off of Phantom Regiment that year, so he's coming in and he's got you know, his obviously classical music Rolodex from the drum corps experience with Phantom, and you know, we were looking through shows and talking about what we wanted to do, and he goes, man, I think we could pull this off. He's like, but Mr. Dunn will never go for it. I was like, let's not put the cart before the horse. I think if there's enough, you know, enough weight behind this, we might be able to sway him. So Ben was on board with it. I basically looked at it and went, there's so much that we can do with this from a front ensemble standpoint. And by then, because of the groundwork that you had laid with the percussion classes, you know, right when you started basically teaching at King's, we had enough momentum to kind of fill out that book and fill out, really, this was kind of the tipping point with the electronics in the pit, where we started to go, oh yeah, we can really help support what the winds are doing. So Ben and I were like, let's do this. Let's convince Mr. Dunn. And I remember sitting in the office with him right next to me on those red chairs and looking at you and you being like, I don't know, guys. And I don't know if you said this, but it felt something along the lines of, if this doesn't work, it's on your heads, gentlemen, or something like that, you know? And I think Ben laughed and he was like, all right, well, let's just do it then. Let's go for it, you know? It was really funny.
Because I was very hesitant to let go of anything. I didn't want to let go of anything, and I'm sure you guys could sense that. And yeah, it was because of a lack of trust. It was a lack of trust. It really was. And so this really was the beginning of me saying, okay, I we'll do this. Let's go ahead and do this. And that's probably what you're sensing. You're like, oh my gosh, he's basically saying, on your head, man. This doesn't work. Your head.
I was trying to portray the essence of what the schizophrenia was with the audio bites. And I don't know, you know, I think at some point I thought in my mind, okay, well, by inserting some stuff here and there, we can help with the GE. We can tell a bit more of a story as opposed to the traditional, here's this number that we're performing. And also at that time I was watching so many movies. So like I'd be watching a movie. The quote about Beethoven is from an old film. I'm blanking on it right now. But I remembered watching it and going, oh my gosh, like it's a sign. This is something that I could have never foreseen coming. I'm going to clip this and throw it in right before the schizophrenic number in the piece, and it's going to go perfectly. And so I just started chopping stuff up, and that I think really. You know, was when you had kind of said, all right, let's start to see what we can do with electronics, was another one of those tipping points where it's like, I'm letting go of this because it's a dangerous, you know, we're embarking into a dangerous territory. But, you know, I actually messaged Mike about skits yesterday, or the day that you posted it. And I said to him, man, I'm just so hyped right now after watching this. And he goes, I can't believe Mr. Dunn let us do some of the things that we did that year, you know, and that's really what it was. And how it evolved, I think, came a lot from that little bit of freedom that you gave. You know, you gave us a little bit of leash. We took what we needed to be successful, but didn't, you know, drag you down the sidewalk. So.
Yeah, I think that, you know, that's sort of a good point. I think it's easy as a director, as a leader of an organization, to grab a hold too tightly, and definitely I learned that year that if you let go a little bit, you could get really great things to happen. But that ability to let yourself be stretched a little bit, it's terrifying. It's terrifying. So,